Stream. Oh gosh, I know that. Live. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. I'm going to light our candle this morning. Our candle, again, representing your divinity and also the divinity of the community. So the wax represents that there's only one, and first wick I light is that of the divinity wick, which says again, represents again the kingdom of heaven is within you, the divine living its life as you, in you, and through you. The second wick we light is that of the community wick, where again, and I always love this effect where the light itself, it gets brighter, and that's what happens when we meet as communities. Our light grows a lot brighter, is a lot brighter to the world. So thank you. Thank you. And John David Miller, Reverend.
Have a song. It's a new month.
It's a new month. It's a new day.
New start. We are making a new start, willing to do our part, getting better day by day. Creative action is an art, a good start from the heart to live in a better way. Working together with the skills of many hands, helping each other make the best life we can. We are making a new start, willing to do our part, getting better day by day. Creative action is an art, a good start from the heart for living in a better way. Life becoming better as harm and suffering cease. Kindness for each other will live and grow in peace. Creative action is an art, a good start from the heart for living in a better way. For living in a better way. For living in a better way.
Thank you, John, for getting us off to a new start. Do you believe it's August already? In the year 2026. Yeah. Well, hello there, everyone. Good morning. And again, I'd like to welcome all of those folks who are watching us online. And hello, Tim. Good morning. Seeing Tim and Kyle and Hannah and Carol Ann and John and myself. And Diana is, she's coming home tomorrow from the rehab hospital. So hopefully that we will see her next Sunday. So yeah, she's doing very well. And again, thank you for all your love and prayers and vibes and all that. She's doing very well. I was there on Thursday and with the staff, and they were giving me some going home instructions. And again, they were very happy with all of her progress. So again, thank you. And that's because of, I believe that's because of, again, of all the prayers of all of us. And again, just knowing the truth about Diana. All right. So today, he scared me for a moment, but our speaker this morning is Reverend John David Miller, and I know he has a good message for us. And we have a really next week. Yours truly will be speaking. The following week, Carol Ann Drick. The fourth Sunday is TBA. To be announced. I have no idea yet. And Diana let me do the scheduling for the month of August. And then the last Sunday again, Tim Morrow will be speaking for us. All right. So I'd like to read from Science of, as we do every Sunday, from Science of Mind 365. It was really nice when I was turning to August. They usually have a theme every month, and this month is vitality. And I'll just read one of the quotes here as they begin the month. He says, "There is a vitality in our communion with the infinite, which is the productive of the highest good. And the vitality of God is self-existent, self-propelling. As I become conscious of my oneness with good, I am filled with enthusiasm and a sense of energy and vitality." So the reading for today is, and the affirmation is, I live fully today. I live fully today. Say that with me silently. I live fully today. I live fully today. I live fully today. Ernest Holmes commentary, it says, the wisest man who's ever lived says that there is a truth that can set you free from fear and want and unhappiness and death itself. He said that this truth is already within you. Suppose that you accept this spiritual wisdom, since the one who gave it was able to prove his claims. Don't you think that this great and glorious person was telling you that the kingdom of your good is here today? Now, this means that evil, no matter what face it wears or what form that it takes or how many people believe it, is never a thing in itself. Jesus did not say that evil has no reality as an experience. He did say that you should not judge according to appearances. He says that you are to live as though the kingdom was already yours. No matter what the negations of yesterday may have been, your affirmation of today may rise triumphantly over them. Cease weeping over the mistakes of yesterday and steadfastly behold the face of the great divine reality. Walk in that light wherein there is no darkness. So say with me silently, it says, I know that every negative condition of the past is swept aside. I refuse to see it or to think about it. Yesterday is no longer here. Tomorrow is not yet arrived. Today is God's day. God's day is my day. Today, bright with hope and filled with promise, is mine. I am alive, awake, and aware today. Science Mind 365. Okay, time for meditation, and John will lead us in, and we're very blessed to have Reverend Dr. Carol Ann Drick leading us in meditation today.
I am the temple of healing love, living love and peace. We are the temple of healing love, helping problems ease, helping problems ease, clearing of disease, worries are released, living love and peace. I am the temple of healing love, living love and peace. We are the temple of healing love, clearing of disease, helping problems ease, clearing of disease, worries are released, living love and peace.
Close our eyes, hearing the words of living love and peace. Very gently put our hand on our heart, that we feel those words within us, living in love and peace. While they're coming in and the warm air going, just allow yourself to become one with that breath of life, the breath of love, the breath of peace, the breath of solutions, any and all of our challenges. Just for a few minutes, allow yourself to go deep, peace and love. Knowing that the truth is already, the truth is already expressed in the degree that we are allowing ourselves to be peaceful, are allowing ourselves to know that right action is taking place. And sometimes the right action is we accept and know in this moment that we're grounded, older, beautiful, and love. And we just go deeper into within. We allow God surrounding it, go deeper, deeper to stillness, deeper silence. And even with thoughts that are coming in, there still is that inner peace. There is still that inner knowing that all is well. And we give great and feel great joy. We feel great love. We feel great understanding. What is in this truth, this leaning on the everlasting arms, that allows us to move through our days with peace and with joy, knowing that there is one perfect life that loves you is flowing through us here and through us now. And everything, absolutely everything that we need, feel right now. But it requires our openness, our ability to know that what is happening is interesting. Sometimes it's all wrong, and that is the time we knowing that the answers are there, the answers are coming in God's time. And we simply give thanks. We give thanks for this moment. We thank the gift of presence that is here with us today. As in this service, we give thanks for the message this morning. And we simply say thank you. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. Thank you for the truth. And the truth is simple. It is God always expressing. And we simply say thank you, Father, Mother, God, and so it is.
I am the temple of healing love, living love and peace. We are the temple of healing love. Worries are released, helping problems ease, clearing up disease. Worries are released, living love and peace, living love and peace.
All right, take a deep breath in, inhale. And exhale. As you do so, open your eyes. Open your cameras if you could, so we can see your beautiful eyes. See the divine as you. All right. There's Tim, and hopefully Kyle will open his camera, maybe even Hannah. Okay. All right. Well, good morning again, and yeah, we had a few audio issues, but the meditation was absolutely wonderful, and thank you again, Carol Ann. So now, the guy that I talk about the most when I'm doing weddings, the guy that when I'm having issues with couples, I always ask myself, WWJD. What would John do? Here's John David Miller.
Well, hello and thank you very much. Today I would like to talk about imagine the possibilities. The idea of reality for most people has been limited by manipulated educational and information systems. The manipulators continue seeking to control our thoughts and behavior via subconscious programming, embedded technology, and artificial intelligence. Those who are awakening to comprehension of the larger scope of true reality need to further expand awareness, imagination, discernment, and creative expression. This would help move humanity beyond the embedded limitations before folks are fully trapped in the matrix of artificial reality. What is imagination? Well, dictionary.com says this. It's a noun, the faculty of imagining or forming mental images or concepts of what is not actually present to the senses. Or secondly, the action or process of forming such images or concepts. Thirdly, the faculty of producing ideal creations consistent with reality, as in literature, as distinct from the power of creating illustrative or decorative imagery. And then the ability, the product, I should say, of imagining a conception or mental creation, often a baseless or fanciful one. And others might say the ability to face and resolve difficulties, or our resourcefulness. Some of the synonyms that they suggest are thought, enterprise, and ingenuity. They say in a definition related to psychology that it's using imagination as the power of reproducing images stored in the memory under the suggestion of associated images, reproductive imagination, or recombining former experiences in the creation of new images. And then they say in Kantian epistemology, that was a surprise to me. If you're not familiar, Kantian epistemology refers to Immanuel Kant, philosopher in Europe several centuries ago, that is about the synthesis of data from sensory manifold into objects. So what does Google AI say about imagination? This is much better, I think. Imagination is the human mental power of forming new ideas, pictures, or sensory experiences inside the mind without any direct input from the outside world. It serves as the core foundation for creativity, problem solving, and emotional empathy. In mental imagery, it's the ability to see, hear, or feel things in your head that are not physically present. In terms of memory, taking pieces of past real-life experiences and mixing them into new scenarios. And then its difference from creativity is imagination is the internal process of thinking up the ideas, while creativity is putting those ideas into action. And they suggest you could use imagination for problem solving, testing out choices of future outcomes safely in your head before you act. Always a good idea, especially if there's danger involved. Empathy, picturing how another person feels or what they're going through from their point of view. And then innovation, designing new art, literature, scientific models and tools. And actually, some of us here in this meeting utilize these benefits of imagination quite often in things that we do, creating a talk, for example. What does Psychology Today say about imagination? This is an article that's very interesting. First of all, the person that wrote it, Abigail Fagan, says that Albert Einstein famously said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." I had a poster that said that Einstein quote in my apartment in Hartford, Connecticut, like 50 some years ago. And I had a whole double wall of posters of various colorful posters of the time, make love and not war. And, war is not healthy for children and other living things. And imagination is more important than knowledge was one of them. But she goes on to say that for knowledge is limited to all we know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world and all there ever will be to know or understand. Through imagination, people can explore ideas that are not physically present, ranging from things that are familiar to never before experienced things. And it has a purpose. Unlike perception, imagination is not dependent on external sensory information taken from what you could see, hear, feel, taste, or touch. It's rather generated from within and often unconsciously influenced by our memories and feelings. We can use imagination for a variety of reasons: to acquire experience and knowledge about the world, to better understand another person's perspective, to solve problems, to create, interact with artistic works, and more. It tends to go hand in hand with creativity, and it plays a pivotal role in various stages of development. Daydreaming, mind wandering, is an information processing state that combines knowledge and imagination. Being more imaginative allows a person to make creative connections and inferences using their past experience and their knowledge. And then the result could be that research indicates that there's more robust daydreaming associated with superior intelligence. So brilliant people tend to daydream somewhat. For the most part, having imagination is beneficial to your life. It lends you a greater perspective, helps you achieve certain goals, but it could be harmful if you mistake your imagination for perception. Say you mentalize the ability to differentiate between, you need the ability to differentiate between what's real and what's made up in your own mind. So they talk about imagination and psychology because it's been very important in that field. This is also from the Psychology Today article. It says imagination can be a powerful tool in psychology. Many people deliberately use mental imagery to visualize desired outcomes like winning a competition, process past experience, manage difficult emotions, or relax the mind, as in meditation. So there's a strong, if not entirely understood connection between the mind and the body. Trained mental health professionals may employ imagination in the form of guided therapeutic imagery to help patients address a number of concerns, grief, depression, stress and anxiety, and so on. Daydreaming is often used as considered a useless waste of time, but a dream of a successful achievement or some future glory can help boost your creativity and your self-control. It occurs when you put your attention on the daydreaming and allow that to shut out your external environment and clarify your positive long-term goals. And then you visualize their future. And it can also help us overcome fear. Many people suffer from fear and the negative impacts of their day-to-day life. So they can use imagination. It may help with overcoming trauma, and it also can help improve memory. Children can benefit greatly from vivid imagination. We probably all had a lot of that as a child, imagining fantasies and things. And so with the support of adult figures, parents and teachers, imagination can play a critical role in early development, increasing children's cognitive, creative, and social skills. They can explore their thoughts and feelings more deeply and how to solve problems creatively. They can put these lessons to good use and build friendships and pursue their goals. So pretend play, make believe. We even had a course when I was in graduate school called The Religious Significance of Play. Because, again, you enter play as a space of creative exploration, I guess we'll say, because you don't know what'll happen. You're just playing around, but you can be very imaginative in your play. Improvisational theater is a good example of people continuing to utilize their imagination from childhood on into adulthood. But there's a great need for pretending in child development. Fantasy and make-believe help teach children their social skills, communication, empathy, and problem solving. It encourages curiosity and creativity. And they can often do better in school. Carl Jung was a psychologist that stressed the importance of imagination. In healing himself from anxiety after his break from Sigmund Freud, Jung learned to entertain his lively creative spirit with imagination and fantasies, revisiting the mental play of his childhood. And this process reflected the images and feelings of his unconscious. This became one of his therapeutic methods, which he called active imagination. Rudolf Steiner, another great metaphysician and expert on human thinking and psychology, He considered imagination as going beyond ordinary daydreams and fantasies. He found it to be an important step of higher spiritual cognition, consisting of what he called imagination, inspiration, and intuition, as kind of a triumvirate of creativity there. So through imagination, he reached into other dimensions and energies. What does Ernest Holmes have to say about imagination? He says, "In the beginning, we behold nothing visible. There's only an infinite possibility, a limitless imagination, a consciousness, the only action of this consciousness being idea." Sounds kind of similar. That's on page 50 of The Science of Mind. Sounds kind of similar to Plato, who had ideas, which were universal images, like the perfect chair would be a Platonic idea of chair. And then other chairs try to match that form. To imagine without the power to manifest that imagination would be to remain in a sort of dream world, which would never come to complete self-realization, Holmes says on page 56. He says creation is the play of life upon itself through divine self-imagination. Spirit must create in order to be expressed. And then he also said the possibility of life is inherent within the capacity to imagine what life is, backed by the power to produce this imagery or divine imagination. It is not a question of failing or of succeeding. It is simply a question of sticking to an idea until it becomes a tangible reality. On page 152 of Science of Mind. Now, he's kind of suggesting that what we said earlier, that imagination kind of feeds creativity. You can imagine and then take action to bring what you're imagining into reality through your creativity. And then he has a major section on imagination and will in The Science of Mind, so I'll just share that. He said Coué announced a great truth when he said that imagination is superior to the will, but he did not explain the philosophy behind this truth. It is a fact that what he said is true, but we wish to analyze the fact and discover the reason back of it. For if anything is true, there is always a reason for it being true. Will is an assumption, pure and simple. We do not will to live. We live because we have life and cannot help living. The use of the will could not make us anything that we are not, for it is not possible to get out of a bag anything that the bag does not contain. We live because life is within us. Perhaps this is what Jesus meant when he said, "Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit to his stature?" We did not make life and we cannot change it, but we can use it. And the use of life is through the imagination, because this faculty has at its roots the very wellspring of life and action. Imagination carries with it feeling and conviction, which mean life and action. It awakens within us all the finer forces of nature and stirs into action latent powers, which otherwise would never come to the surface. At the very root of the whole matter, we find that the creative power of the universe does not create through will, but through imagination, imaging, feeling, and knowing. To suppose that God must will things to happen would be to suppose that God had some opposing force to contend with. Willpower may be necessary in its place, but as a creative agency, it is non-existent. It is not creative, but directive, and used from this standpoint, it is a wonderful force, whereas used from any other angle, it becomes destructive and will mentally weary one using it. To feel that we have to will things to happen casts doubt into the face of creation and presupposes that life is not self-existent and self-propelling. Imagination taps the very roots of being and utilizes the same power that brought the worlds forth from chaos. Quote, the worlds were framed by the word of God. Imagination is the power of the word, while will is the directive energy denoting the purpose for which the word is spoken. Man reproduces the power to create, and in his own life controls his destiny through the activity of his word. This word cannot be willed, but it can be imagined or imaged forth into expression. So this section occurs on pages 234 and 235, and it's followed by a section on how to visualize. So it goes on to get more into manifesting there. But unfortunately, there is a control system going on in our world that seeks control of us, and it might primarily through mind control. They try to understand human perception. They work their magic on our knowledge base. They've manipulated knowledge through faulty history, faulty science, and planned educational principles, and also in our medicine. So history, religion, science, medicine, politics, war, news, all involve some degree of deception, manipulation, calling upon authority, and repetition. So that's some of the methods that are used to manipulate our collective thinking. But they've also then, over the centuries, developed other methods of interfering in our thinking and our physical life and wellness with poisoning the food, the water, the air, the medicine, the environment, household products, and microchips that are in our environment and in us. And then nutrient deficiency with a lack of education about how to be healthy, and with promotion of junk food. And then financial limitation, forcing us to have a job and be in debt and pay taxes and be victimized by inflation and manipulation of markets. And by distraction with politics, news, sports, entertainment, threats and disasters, and technology, microchips and frequencies. So beyond the false narratives of history, science, and war, and more from the establishment, educational, and informational systems, what if some images were intentionally inserted directly into our minds from outside via frequencies, similar to radio, TV, cell phones, and Wi-Fi signals? You can get a call on your cell phone sitting right next to you because it has the number to call. The frequencies come right into your cell phone. Well, what about frequencies that could come right into your brain? The brain stem is an antenna. Our DNA is an antenna. They probably have your number. You must ask, are those my thoughts? Beware. But my philosophy is holistic reality awareness. And it starts with inspiration from the creative source awareness. But imagination plays a very important role where we play and have our fantasy. I use the example of baseball as a good example of how to utilize your imagination. If you listen to baseball on the radio, that field of dreams, you have to imagine the plays that they're describing. The ball was just hit the right field and it bounced against the wall, and the catcher had to dig it out of the outfielder had to dig it out of the corner and throw it to second base. So you're following all that just in your mind's eye, so to speak, rather than watching it on the tube. So then brainstorming ideas. I do this quite a lot. I sit outside and just look around at nature, trees and clouds, and brainstorm things. And the imagination is more primary than our senses. Imagination is already active pre-birth, maybe even pre-conception, who knows? But it's a more primary aspect of our mental activity than the senses. And so we have the ability to take a time out and relax and maybe engage in meditation, inner vision, daydreaming, reverie, enjoying nature. Let us be inspired, our imagination be inspired by nature. And then contemplation is the next step, where you focus the imaginative thought stream. You expand on your ideas. Let it take off into many permutations of possibility. On the other hand, our perception, which is our thought, our feeling, our intuition, our intention, and our senses, has a role to play as well, because we need to utilize that in our creative expression. Some people have become in touch with their paranormal or psychic intuitive faculties of higher perception, like precognition, remote viewing, seeing into other dimensions. I've mentioned some of these things in the past that I've experienced, but paranormal is really should be normal, but it's been kind of sequestered by the matrix system. But we can, by using our imagination and taking these timeouts and relaxing and meditation and so on, we can cultivate our psychic abilities. And then, but nonetheless, we need to do research about what is reality, because discernment is another very important aspect of our mental activity, and critical thinking. And unfortunately, that has been kind of filtered out of the educational system as well. So we need to really restore our ability for discernment and critical thinking once we've gone through many other of these mental activities. But ultimately, we need to imagine good possibilities. This is what we talk about in New Thought. We draw on that imagination, inspiration, intuition package of Steiner, and throw in a little visualization and expectation, and then engage our creativity, our creative expression to bring things into reality. We draw on our awakened awareness. We do some planning, organizing, and action, engage cooperation with others of like mind, and bring a creative idea to completion. And our processes of creating, there are many twists and turns, challenges, failures, setbacks, but we can keep at it and move to accomplishments with success, a betterment of our lives, and then repeat success processes that we've developed. I suggest we apply our imagination, discernment, and creativity to the basics of life. Survival, for example, food, water, health. How about gardening? You could go out and at least grow one thing to start. It's a little late in the season, but there's probably some things you could even start now, like lettuce. And then indoor food growing in the wintertime. Again, sprouting, easy to do. And, I think it's valuable for people to have a little finger, at least, in growing some of what you eat, so you know where food comes from. And it's a part of your cycle to grow the food and bring it in and make it part of your body. You can grow lettuce indoors, too, in the winter, and probably many other crops if you really get into it. Then healing is another aspect of our survival, where we detoxify these poisons and improve our nutrient intake, learn how methods of prevention, things that can assist us that are in the natural realm, like herbal products and nutrients and so on, good foods, and putting our attention on the really well state. To paraphrase a line from a song by Leroy, every little cell is really well. You can repeat that affirmation. And then another aspect of our life that we can apply our imagination and creativity to is our finance and shelter situation. We have need of debt relief. So there are methods of paying down your debt bit by bit, whatever you can move toward it, pay off maybe your lowest balance if it's a card or something first. And then when you're done with that, that liberates more funds to start paying on the bigger debt card until you get them whittled down. And then energy, how to manage our energy. If you had a wood stove, for example, even if the power went out in the winter, you still have a way to stay warm. And otherwise, learning to do all your energy efficiently, just like in your home, how to move the flow of air around, and how to use lights only where you need them, and that sort of thing. Another aspect of life that we can bring this to is our relationships, because love, we all need that, and it's a basic important dynamic of life that we love. And so you focus on someone you love, and then when your capacity to love is growing and where it should be, you can send love to leaders, even to criminals and manipulators, because love is the power to make them better, to raise their awareness and raise their consciousness, and get out of being bad if they are. And then it helps us to be able to be kind. Kindness is another very important dynamic among our people, and bring peace and joy and happiness. So in summary, imagine the possibilities. Use your imagination. We need to go through these steps of awakening, imagining, discernment, creativity, planning, organizing, action, and cooperation to bring us greater awareness, wisdom, harmony, and happiness. And I thank you for listening.
John, that was excellent. Thank you. The importance of imagination, and the importance of, again, of being imaginative and also directing the imagination. How wonderful. Great. And we are being manipulated. You study psychology. So even yesterday, I noticed that on I went out to eat, and the waitress puts on the receipt, or on the bill, she puts "thank you," and then puts a smiley face. Okay, see, they've seen, again, there's been studies that when you do that people tend to give more money. So so I think but I think the whole idea of, again, of guarding our minds, the old time metaphysicians talk about the whole idea of, again, of really of using the imagination versus willpower. And again, to use, like what I talked about a few weeks ago about Holmes saying, if we take time every day to imagine our lives the way that we really want them to be, we would, again, to embody that vision, and then again that we would see a change in our outer world. So imagination is really important. And again, to look up the word imagination, I would encourage everyone to look up the word imagination in the Science of Mind textbook, and to really to contemplate, well, how am I using my imagination? How am I being imaginative in my daily life? Am I using my imagination for my betterment or my detriment? So again, thank you, John. That was really great. Anyone else have a comment?
I loved it. I love that very much. Everything that you were saying, John, just was ringing so clear. And wise Einstein, he can come out with the nicest things. Imagination is more important than knowledge. This is so true, because what is imagination? Imagination is stop using the past your mind to solve a problem or to do something. It is opening to all the wisdom of the universe. I mean, and when you look at it that way, to me, taking time and just being still and imagining gives me more real life examples of what I should be doing than when I say, oh, gee, what did this person say? What did that person say? What do I need to be doing? We get out of our head. So imagination and starting it young with kids is so important. One of the things when my grandson was little, he's now married and has his own little baby, but we would sit on the front porch and we would look and we would play stop, look, and listen. And he said, I don't get it, Grandma. There's nothing going on. I said, shh, you can only point and smile. And he said, okay. And I mean, you know, he's like 7 years old and he's kind of, and all of a sudden, he saw a squirrel go around the bottom of the tree and he goes, and he's pointing and then he got on the edge of his seat. It was like when he experienced that, which, and then afterwards we were able to talk about it. And he created an incredible imagination of things. And we love to play it. And I think that, and I would like to encourage everyone to use your imagination, allow spirit to come through you in the most perfect way. So thank you, John. You really covered that beautifully.
Well, thank you. You know, Akron is, I consider an artist colony. You know, we have so many musicians and artists in Akron, and, you know, the city of our size to have our own orchestra, our own art museum, and our own zoo, even. You know, we have quite a lot to offer in the realm of imagination here in Akron, I think.
I think that also brings up, John, the whole idea of, again, of culture, that, you know, of having an imaginative culture.
Right.
That's, you know, the importance of music and the importance of art, and the importance of again, of storytelling also is a very, it's a very important part of, again, of society. And to not have those things, or to go ahead and to take them out of the educational system, I think really, again, is the detriment to all of us. So again, to have those creative expressions and using our imagination, again, in positive ways. So again, thank you, John. And now a song.
Amazing things are going on each moment of the day. A mystery unfolding, the universe at play. Infinite possibilities, choices, changes, chance. Multiple realities, a cosmic song and dance. It is wise to look beyond the norm, to see things differently, perceiving what is happening, creative energy. Mystery continues with calm intensity. Ideas, feelings, actions, and willing to be free. Contemplating everything beyond what we see. Awareness is expressing as creative energy. It is wise to look beyond the known for true reality. Many realms are
That was wonderful, John. Thank you. So now we are going to use our energy here to the vast amount of energy that we have, again, that we are going to give. Again, we have received so wonderfully today. So again, we use our gift of giving here to not only to increase the flow, but also again to be who we are, and that is again unlimited giving individuals who are tapped into the divine. So take a couple ways you can give to Summit Center for Spiritual Living. The first way is by Zelle or by PayPal. If you just go to if you type in SSC of Akron at gmail.com, then we will get the gift. Just remember, when you go into PayPal and you use that, make sure it says that your gift is going to Summit Center or Summit Center for Spiritual Living. The other thing, too, is 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310. If you would like to use the wonderful way of writing a check and then sending it to us, that would be great. And again, the money's used again is not only again for us to give back to Centers for Spiritual Living and also New Thought Media Network, but for us again that we use the monies again to be here not only on Sundays, but also we impact the world through all the things that we do. So again, thank you so very much for your gift. So we take our gift in our hand, right over left, as we celebrate just this marvelous gift of life and this marvelous gift of imagination. And we just recognize that all that we have, all that we give, all that we receive is totally blessed right now as we participate in that great law of giving and receiving. And we give today not out of spite or not out of manipulation, but we give today because we want to. We want to. We know that as we give, so we do receive. And so we just, that's a natural part of it. So we just naturally we give in love, and knowing that, again, the gift goes to Summit Center for Spiritual Living and its active ministry in the world. And so again, giving great thanks, we release the gift and say, Amen. John David Miller again.
Good is mine, and ever-increasing good is mine. Unlimited, infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. Good crowds itself upon us, wraps itself around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. Oh, good, more good is ours, and ever-increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit and Soul. It is.
Thank you, John. Announcements, ntmedia.org. Again, thank you so very much for watching us. I put the programs that I produce and also evening prayer. We do prayer twice a day at 10:15 in the morning and 10:15 in the evening. If you can, again, you can subscribe without any human monies. You can just go ahead and just on New Thought Media Network, just hit the subscribe, and then you'll get notifications, especially when we do prayer. So thank you again for all of your prayers, and thank you again for all the people who've supported me with the ordination. It's been wonderful living the past 10 days as an ordained minister of the church. Well, we used to call it the Church of Religious Science, but of the Centers for Spiritual Living, being an ordained minister of religious science, finally. So, John, what are you doing these days?
Well, you can find some of my explorations of imagination at yeswise.com or on my Yes Wise channel at YouTube. I have songs, I have little inspirational messages, and my blog called Yes Wise Inspiry. And you can find my music at johndavidmiller.com.
All right. All right. Any other messages, announcements, smoke signals? Okay.
Be careful.
No, yeah, honoring our native folks. All right. So again, thank you so very much for being with us today. Next week, I will be the speaker, and we have time for me to be in my imagination and just see what comes up as far as a talk next Sunday. So be prepared. So again, thank you so very much. Invite your friends and neighbors to join us online. Again, the online information is available at summitcsl.org. You can go ahead and click on there. We would like for the folks who watch us during the week, of which we know you do. Again, you're invited to be with us at 10:30 Eastern time. Please check your time zones for the to find out when we are on in your time zone. But you are always welcomed here. Our hearts are open to you. We love you so much. So now we're going to spend a moment in the silence, and so John's going to ping us in and ping us out. Again, if there's something again that John said, or the music, or something I said, just take that into the silence and just be with that for a few moments. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us wherever we are. No matter what we're doing, God is, and all is well.
We are the people of love. We are the people of love. Sing out, people, sing out love. We are the people of love. We are the people of peace. We are the people of peace. Sing out, people, sing out peace. We are the people of peace. We are the people of joy. We are the people of joy. Sing out, people, sing out joy. We are the people of joy. We are the people of love. We are the people of love. Sing out, people, sing out love. We are the people of love. We are the people of love.
All right. Thank you again. And Hannah, if you could take us offline, and again, we'll see you next